The Monster Inside, an audio-visual novella. One of those two. Okay, so this is by Random Seed Games. I, again, like usual, know nothing about it. So, let's just jump right onto it. Ooh, I like that cool effect in the background. I'm not sure what it's called. My head pounded, ears still ringing slightly. Some of the worst nightmares I'd had in years left me feeling like I'd been punched in the jaw. But just like any other day, I dragged myself to the office. That seems silly, if you dragged yourself. Okay. There was another notice on the door from the Mayor Vinetti's office. Permits out of date. They didn't like me much and were trying to drown me in paperwork. That was probably... I'm sorry, headphone users. It was a slow month. Weeks since I'd had any real case to work on. So I passed the time pacing the office, smoking and staring at the mirror in the corner, safely covered with an old bedsheet. I can't do that voice. I don't dare look at my own reflection. I'm too afraid of what I might see. Afraid someday I might have to face what I really am. Whoa, oh, just cigarette smoke. The girl came in so quiet I nearly choked on my cigarette. Mister, please. You gotta help me, mister. Calm down now. Sit and talk slow. I'll do that one. Please. Please. No one else will listen to me. Go on. She eyed me with just a dash of suspicion as I tossed back a handful of pills and chased them down with a swig of whiskey. I could tell this might take a while. That is horrible. Do not ever do that. Her name was Lily. She told me she was his mistress, the name all over the newspapers. The infamous banker, Mr. Reginald Farnsworth. Mr. Farnsworth was a drunk, philandering bastard, but this girl seemed genuinely concerned that he had recently gone missing. Aww. Less concerned about the fact that Mr. Farnsworth's wife had just turned up dead in Central Park 2 nights ago. You don't understand. He just couldn't have done it. He hated his wife, but he couldn't have killed her. Everyone thinks it was him, and no one believes me. He's gotta be in trouble. I ain't saying I believe you, but what makes you think he's in danger? I'll do that one. Well, Mr. Jack. You can just call me Jack. Jack, whoever did that to his wife must have been the one who took him. He would have never left without me. He promised me. I'm sure Mr. Farnsworth promised this poor girl a lot of things. Aww. Please, the cops won't listen to me and I want to bring him in on charges. You gotta prove it wasn't him before they find him. Honestly, I doubt they're in too much of a hurry. Farnsworth had practically the entire police force in its deep pockets. Probably while they haven't found much yet. Excuse me, I am recording this at like 10 o'clock at night. Exactly 10 o'clock, I'm sure. If they found him and brought him in, it would be due to public pressure. Sometimes a mob with pitchforks is more dangerous than one man with money. Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, she's got my curiosity. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jack. Thank you, but please be careful. I don't think this was just any murderer or kidnapper. I think it was a beast. Beast. The word struck me funny, like when you jar your elbow on a hard corner. No word many use these days, except in hushed whispers and bedtime stories for children. Oh, they were real enough, all right. They just got better at hiding, controlling their unseemly urges. But I hadn't seen any monsters in nearly 15 years, back when I was still a cop myself. And you seem like the kind of man who's good at solving mysteries. Sure, can't you see how busy I am? I think that was a bit of a joke. You know, since I'm just sitting here. I replied a little too harshly. Sarcasm wasn't my strong suit. I reassured her some more and sent her on her way. I didn't want to scare her, but I warned her before she left to keep her doors locked and call me if she saw anything suspicious. I don't know if she was in any danger herself, but better safe than sorry. That night, I made my way down to Central Park. It was a long shot, but maybe there was something. But there, the cops had missed. Next chapter? I'll probably do 2 chapters. The scene was already picked clean by the cops days ago, but I've got a knack for finding things, the things others overlook. Well, that's your problem. There's a giant dude in chalk on the ground. A knack, more of a symptom of a condition. Other less useful symptoms I keep in check, but for the time being, my keen sense of smell would come in handy. He's a werewolf. That's it. The end. You figured it out. It was faint, but I could smell it before I even approached the police line. The scent was less of a thing and more of an emotion. Seduction. That was what its mistress is for. A strangely familiar smell. I expected the scent of trepidation, or maybe even outright fear, but Miss Farnsworth seemed to have been at this height of pleasure when she left this world. Well, that's, brought new meaning to a crime of passion. Pushing the thought from my mind, it was time to get down to business. Muddy footprints everywhere. Difficult to pick out anything from the prints the cops left behind in their haste. But cops don't wear $2,000 pairs of Carquinos. Did I say that right? It looked like Mr. Farnsworth was there that night and walked away on his own 2 feet. Scratches or burns. A burn mark on a nearby tree caught my eye. I ran my finger along its length and felt a chill down my spine. This wasn't just any burn mark. This was the mark of an ancient magic. It's doubtful the cops would have picked up on it. Could Lily have been right? Something unnatural was at play here. But I was no stranger to the strange. After looking around for a while longer, I realized the park had given up all it was hiding from me. So I trudged back to my apartment and my head hit a pillow like it owed me money. Alright, wait, how long was this? Didn't seem like too long. Yeah, I could do more. Let's continue. The next morning I was reeling from another bout of ghoulish nightmares, but I tried to hide my discomfort when I saw Lily was already sitting outside my office. She waited wordlessly as I unlocked the door and wrote down another notice from the mayor's office. I motioned for her to step inside. Seemingly afraid of what I might say, she finally worked up the courage to ask. So, what did you find? Not sure about beasts, but something Farnsworth might still be alive. I'll do this one. I probably shouldn't have given her false hope like that, but she seemed like she needed something to hold on to right then. She didn't need to know about the mark on the tree. How do you know that? Where is he? Footprints. My tone was indifferent towards her as I turned and grabbed a bottle from my desk drawer. The dryness in my throat made it difficult to swallow my meds. But don't you know where he went? Do you think the news this morning is related? What news is that? Haven't you heard? Nope. They found the police chief's wife dead down by the docks. They say it happened last night. Let me guess. Chief Amato is missing too. My face might have betrayed a hint of satisfaction as she confirmed my suspicions. I am sorry I cannot talk. But it faded quickly. Amato was a shit cop and a shit chief. Aww. He was half the reason I left the force, but now his wife was dead and I had more questions than I did the day before. And my cigarette burns really long, though it is still in the ashtray. The gears in my head started to spin, which wasn't helped by the splitting pain at my temples. I told Lily I needed time to work, and she left, slightly dejected, wanting more answers than I could provide. I have a dead body under there. That night, after the cops had cleared out of the docks, I would slip down and see what I could uncover concerning Miss Amato's untimely demise. Next chapter, I'm invested. The cold air smelled strongly of salt and oil and death. Could it be? That smelly, like someone had bottled pure aerosol and used it as perfume. It hit me like a long forgotten memory, like that one time at band camp. But the sensual fumes soon gave way to a rush of adrenaline. I knew exactly what the scent reminded me of, and that scared me more than not knowing. I looked down at my hands, shaking. The nightmares. The headaches. No, I was better now, reformed. I had to focus. No jumping to conclusions. Follow the evidence. Investigate the scene. Ooh. There, just there, the smallest piece of purple fabric, torn and caught in the splinter of a board. The police report didn't say anything about Miss Amato wearing purple, and it was certainly of a quality that you wouldn't expect down here. Don't see too many high society types around flaunting royal purple threads. I must investigate the scene. Red Phoenix cigarettes. Same shitty brand I smoke every day. Everyone's got their vice. I pulled out my own pack of reds and lit up. I could already feel another headache coming on. But that's what happens when you smoke. And then it turns to death. Anyway, but looking out over the waves seemed to help me forget. The cold helped me push down the uncomfortable thoughts that had been bubbling to the top of my brain. Goddamn, I'm invested. I honestly don't remember the walk back to the office. Apparently, I spent the night in my easy chair. The air from the docks lingered on my clothes. It was still dark out. No, I checked the clock. How long had I been out? Had I really slept through the entire next day? That's what happens when you don't get enough sleep. A newspaper was sitting under the door. As I stood to fetch it, I nearly fell over. A wave of nausea hit me like a ton of bricks. I am very into similes. I steadied myself and regained my composure. Before I even picked up the paper, I could already read the headline. Breaking. Man missing. Wife found dead. 2 cases is a coincidence. 3 is a pattern. The cops would come asking questions soon. They knew I had a history of antagonizing all the victims. I stumbled to my desk and slammed back 3 days worth of inhibitor pills. I couldn't take any chances. I had to investigate the scene to be sure. I threw on my jacket and went to the door. Really caught me off guard on the other side. Jack, where are you off to? I've been trying to reach you all day. Yeah. Tell her the truth. Okay. But we need to talk when you get back. Stay safe. She gave me a soft kiss on the cheek as I rushed off. Part of me wanted to stay and tell her it would be okay, but it would be a lie. You know what? Let's do it. The alley was... What happened there? The alley was located just behind the high-rise apartments where Mayor Vanetti and his wife lived. I could tell the police were spooked now. The crime scene was even sloppier than the last. Yeah, half the arm isn't even in the, cones. They hadn't even bothered to submit the trash into evidence. Why wouldn't they at least look through the dumpster? It seemed untouched. No one wants to do the dirty work. But I know how to find the good stuff. It really doesn't take long if you know what to look for. Lightweight bags usually mean someone was dumping documents. If you were lucky, they didn't bother to shred them. Jackpot. Shell companies, shady stock trades, bribes. I knew the Mayor Vanetti was crooked, but this was unbelievable. And there was more. Letters from a secret girlfriend. It turns out he was secretly my boyfriend. He was cheating on me. Yeah. Yes, that is true. And there was more. Letters between Mayor Vanetti and Chief Amato. Talking about me. How were they trying to get me shut down? They didn't like me snooping around crime scenes all the time. Well, they weren't here to stop me snooping around this one. They're probably dead. Vanetti's car. If he's still alive, why wouldn't he have left in his car? It didn't make any sense. I honestly wasn't too motivated to find him, but the stakes were too high, and my bet was edging towards the unthinkable. That I'm a werewolf and I murdered them! As I searched around for anything that might assuage my fears, I caught the scent again. It overwhelmed my other senses with undulating pleasure. It was intoxicating. A weapon used on the weak-willed. A weapon I knew all too well, though it had been many years since I had used it. There was another like me? Was I being framed? It wasn't possible, was it? I was taking my inhibitors. I was reformed. But the nightmares, the headaches, the memory lapses. I couldn't even trust myself. I started walking back out the alleyway when something shiny caught my eye. A watch. Not just any watch, though. My watch. How long had my wrist been bare? Surely I had just dropped it when I first came down the alley. I checked the time just before I left the office, hadn't I? Or had I used the wall clock? I couldn't be sure. I can't even see a dude, so I couldn't be sure of anything. So I ran. I don't know why I ran back to the office. The cops would probably show up any minute to knock on the door down and cart me away. They would put it together before long. Maybe it would be best for everyone if I simply faced my own reflection. But Lily was still there waiting for me. Jack, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Well, that's unfortunate. You're not making any sense, Jack. Come, sit down. Don't understand. You're not safe around me. I took a good last look at her as I prepared to shove her out the door. I noticed she was wearing the same thing she had when she first came to my office 3 days ago. A beautiful purple dress. Odd that I hadn't really noticed it before, but it made her seem out of place, out of time. She did it. It was frayed around the edges, torn in places. My chair caught my fall as my knees failed me. It was you. You were the monster, succubus. Oh, Jack. We are one and the same, you and I. We are both monsters. I'm simply more honest with myself. There's no such thing as reformation. Those pills you take only make you dull. Beasts like us should never suppress our dream mages, as you have, Incubus. Those men were probably dead too now, I figured. She probably took them into her lair and harvested their seed. Oh, God. So, you've done all this just to wake me up? You could say that, though it seemed enough just to have you doubt yourself. You believed you were still capable of such horrors, which means deep down, you probably are. You can't escape it. Now I need you to complete the deed. You took my watch, messed with my head. Oh, don't act like I didn't do you a favor. Those men hated you and wanted you gone, and now they're gone. You framed me, chick. I mustered the strength to stand again, moving casually to the window by the corner. She was right about one thing. I was dull, weak compared to her. If I refused her and she attacked me, I was a dead man. I had to keep her talking. I've never met a succubus who seduces and kills women. Oh, please, such a 14th century stereotype. I don't discriminate when it comes to pleasures of the flesh.